Hey there, it's Julie with Food Storage Made Easy, and today I'm with Connell and Frank from InstaFire, and they're going to show us a little bit more about their product that you can use as fuel for cooking in powerless situations. Something that Jody and I have been working on becoming more informed about is how to use powerless instruments, tools, and fuel to cook in case of an emergency where we would have no power. So we're just going to show you a few things, the different tools, and especially their product, how awesome it is. You're going to love it. So let's get going.
What we have is InstaFire, and it comes in a 5-gallon, a 2-gallon, and half-cup 24 packs. And this here is our 2-gallon fire starter. And what InstaFire is it's a blend of volcanic rocks, and we blend it with wood pellets. I don't know if you can see that.
I'll get it a little closer.
And we blend it with wood pellets, and it's an all-natural, all-safe fire starter / emergency fuel that you can use to cook with or get a fire going or get your charcoal briquettes lit and started.
When we had the disaster over in Haiti, how to cook rice. This is what we've come up with, just a standard number 10 can, and then we put InstaFire down in the bottom of it. Okay, we light that, and we can light that here in a second, and then just take a pot, put it down in there, like 2 cups of water and a cup of rice. That's how they're cooking rice over in Haiti right now, and some of the orphanages are using it that way.
So, I mean, a number 10 can. Anyone has a number 10 can.
Right.
It didn't take too long. That was 1 cup in that one too, and it's boiling 2 cups of water.
What we're going to do here is show you how InstaFire, it burns from the top down. We can literally burn it in our hand, and to demonstrate that, I'll just burn it right on the snow. Again, you get no flare up, you don't get the whoosh, you know, that you get with some. You do have to shield it a little bit before it gets, and after about 30 seconds,
You can see the flame.
it'll have enough
To where the wind won't.
where the wind won't blow it. I've had it in 40, 50 mile an hour winds and it won't blow it out.
Wow.
So if I need a little broader base fire, you just take InstaFire and you just spread it out.
Look at that.
That's so cool.
Stays burning.
It stays burning, and then I would take and then just put my charcoal chimney right over the top, and then I have my briquettes right here, and in 10 minutes I can have 75 briquettes going.
That's great.
With some of the other fuels like propane, you're limited on how much
You're allowed to store, like, legally,
Right.
Well, you have to check with your fire department, because some propane canisters you can carry up to 5 of the 5-gallon propane canisters, and that's the legal limit as far as the fire department goes. Because if your house catches fire, they don't want to show up and have 40-gallon or 45-gallon containers of propane in your garage. And
Yeah.
The other thing that you run into with propane, butane, and some of those others, they're great fuels to store, and they work real well. But what happens is they have a use-by date. What happens is the seals go bad in them. So after about 5 years, so if you're going to store propane or butane, something like that, you want to keep it rotated.
Another thing to keep track of rotating.
Yeah, and so that becomes really difficult. The other thing, if you're storing anything, other fuels like gasoline or kerosene or some of those, you want to keep it away from your food, because it'll leach over and your food will take on that taste. With InstaFire, you don't get any of the leaching.
So what's
you can
the
just-
shelf life?
At least 30 years.
Wow, and you can just store it in your basement?
Yeah, you can
In your
store it
food
next to your
storage
food.
shelf?
You can,
right next to your water heater if you want to.
yeah. We've made it purposely. We've made it so a spark won't light it.
Okay.
Okay, you have to have an open flame, you know, like a match or a lighter, something like that to light it.
Okay.
And we've done that on purpose.
So 30-year shelf life. You can store it in your basement, and I mean you can calculate that pretty well. If a cup of the InstaFire works for like 2 cups of water, you can kind of figure out how many
much
days.
you're gonna need, right.
If you're looking for a certain amount of time,
Right.
or fuel for a certain amount of time that you want to store,
You
you
know,
can figure it out. Okay, one of the things I have in my house, and I've used it a couple times to make sure I know how, is a Volcano stove. And they're very versatile, and I've been wanting to know more ways of using it, and luckily this works perfectly with it. So.
Okay, so what we do, you see it's a granulated product. So I take like a cup of it, just sprinkle it around down the bottom of the Volcano. You'll see when I light it, it's going to light similar to lighting a candle. It's not going to flare up on you, which makes it really safe. So we light it in a few spots. Okay, you can see it's very calm for a minute.
Okay.
Allows you to have time to put your grate down. If I'm going to cook breads, if I'm going to just do fry, and we'll demonstrate that here in a minute, we'll use nothing but InstaFire. If I'm going to cook like breads or a stew, something that's going to take an hour, then I would just use the InstaFire then to start my briquettes. I would put my briquettes right on this grate, and then it'll start those, and then you can put them on your Dutch oven or however you wanted to use your briquettes.
So I would just put this,
Yes.
like the briquettes down, and then put this on top.
Yeah, so you take your briquettes then and take some tongs, and you may do like 24 briquettes. And so you'd have maybe leave 10 of them down and then put the rest on top of
Like
the...
that. And so then that kind of acts like an oven. So anything I would want to cook in an oven, I would just put in here.
Correct. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use our Dutch oven as just a frying pan.
Okay.
That was really fast to heat up.
Yeah, it heats up really fast.
And I'd feel so much better about storing this than like propane.
Comes some lunch.
That's cool.
I'm liking the food. I'm hungry. Okay, this is a surprise twist on what you were cooking.
Hey, it's got Thanksgiving dinner.
Better than Thanksgiving dinner. It's got Doritos in it.
Okay, where's your plate?
Let's do it.
So if the big earthquake ever hits, just come to Connell's house.
We'll have
Bring a bag of
salad.
Doritos and
we
we'll
get to
set
go.
you up.